Sankofa, an ancient city, is unquestionably one of the world's wonders. There is evidence of the settlement's long history everywhere you look, as it dates back approximately 12,000 years. The city is a paradise for archaeologists, with mosques from the 15th century and Roman artifacts from the 4th century. However, if the Turkish government is to be believed, this magnificent location will never age. Although Turkish authorities wanted to destroy this 11,000-year-old city, it is rich in history. It is in Turkey's Batman region, which is aptly named because it is on the Tigris River. The picturesque location is home to nearly 2,500 people who live in nearly 200 different hamlets. It should come as no surprise that some families have lived in the town for 300 years due to its long history. Relics from the town's illustrious past make up a significant portion of its appeal, and there is no dearth of evidence of the centuries of human activity that took place there over the course of about 12 centuries. Indeed, the region has seen more than 300 archaeological excavations to date. The subsequent discoveries, some of which date to the Neolithic age, demonstrate the meaning of the area. Among the significant regions, or the 1,000s of caverns, dabbed around the precipices in his sank of altogether artificial. Some have various stories and running water. However, these contemporary dwellings are based not only on homes, but also on caves from the Neolithic era that were probably dug by the area's first settlers. The rock was also used to build mosques, churches, and cemeteries. The people who lived in caves eventually started farming the land around the Tigris, and the new settlement they built would later be part of a number of ancient kingdoms, like the Hurrians, the Neo-Assyrians, and the Medians. During the Middle Ages, it grew to be an important center for trade. As a stop on the renowned shipper course, the Silk Street, the town flourished. As a result of that, there are the people who accept that Marco Polo, popular for his excursions along the Silk Street from Europe to China, could well have visited, has sank off on his movements. That doesn't stop the town from getting famous visitors. The Roman Empire decided to construct a fortress in the area in the 4th century. They left a significant mark on this location after building this military base, which housed the legionaries who patrolled the empire's Persian border. As a matter of fact, dives nearby in 2005 uncovered that the Romans had a presence as well as a laid-out lifestyle. It is amazing that anything from the Empire era, including wall and floor mosaics, the remains of a massive gate, and even a row of shops, has survived over the centuries. After gaining prominence in the Byzantine Empire in the 5th century, the city sank and eventually became a part of the Islamic world when Arabian forces took control in the middle of the 6th century. Around 1260, the Mongols conquered the town after several Muslim dynasties had ruled the region. The Ottomans became the last settlement invaders just over 300 years later, and their empire eventually became Turkey today. Around 20 civilizations have left their marks on his ankle over the centuries. The ancient ruins on display, in addition to the Roman artifacts found there, beautifully depict that culture's history. For instance, a medieval bridge that was built in 1116 and is thought to be the largest structure of its time is now in ruins. Archaeologists believe that because it was made of wood, it could be taken away during an attack. The 15th century mosque with its towering minarets still stands in another part of the settlement. It was built by a sultan. Hundreds. It is a round building with beautiful decorations that is typical of Central Asian burial grounds of the time and emphasizes the town's connections to the East. The amazing architecture doesn't stop there. Without a doubt, the colossal vestiges of the fortification sitting high on the precipices over her Sanka require several days to investigate. In addition, the area is abundant in archaeological treasures, as evidenced by the fact that visitors can see the ruins of not one but two ancient palaces. What's more, as indicated by certain specialists, it could require a long time to completely uncover all of the old history covered underneath the city, and has Sankofa is simply an archaeological fortune. It is also an important environmental site due to its proximity to the Tigris Basin. The banks of the river are home to a unique microclimate and a wide range of animals and plants, including rare birds and bats. The area has largely been left alone in modern times, away from Turkey's major cities and industrial centers, allowing the wildlife to thrive. Therefore, it is evident that the Sankofa is not only a display of history, but also adorned with a natural wonder lamp. Indeed, the entire area was officially designated a conservation area in 1981 and a protected archaeological site in 1980. As a result, the town has been the site of research for nearly 40 years. Because of those natural and archaeological wonders, a small tourism industry has developed in his sank as people drawn by the area's history and unique atmosphere visit the caves, shop in the market, and generally take in the culture. However, none of this incredible treasure will be visible after 2019, and if government plans are implemented, the homes and livelihoods of 3,000 residents, in addition to several thousand in the surrounding areas, as well as ways of life that have barely changed in centuries and thousands of years, are now seriously in jeopardy. In addition, if the Turkish government has its way, all of the wildlife, vegetation, and even a portion of the Tigris could vanish forever. This would all be due to electricity, more specifically, hydroelectricity, which uses a lot of liquid to make energy and is considered to be relatively environmentally friendly. A turbine is then turned when water from a reservoir is released into pipes as it rushes through. A generator that generates electricity moves as a result of this. About 16% of the world's electricity comes from this method of producing energy. And considering its benefits, it is easy to understand why countries like Norway generate the majority of their power this way, safe and powerful, with no waste as a result. As long as there is a healthy supply of water, the potential of hydroelectricity is endless. Naturally, that supply of water typically originates from a reservoir, frequently a man-made lake. However, the way authorities construct reservoirs, typically by obstructing a naturally occurring water flow, can be problematic. In addition to the greenhouse gases produced by dam construction, the obstruction of rivers or streams can have a significant impact on wildlife in the area. However, electricity is a necessity in the 21st century, and the use of water to generate power is certainly efficient. As a result, the Turkish government has recently constructed a number of dams all over the country. It planned 29 dams in total, 19 of which have been built and are feeding the same number of hydroelectric plants. This enormous infrastructure project, which began in the 1970s, was designed by the government to assist in economic growth in Turkey. The plan, which is expected to take place at the end of 2019, has sparked controversy both locally and globally. Indeed, almost all of the ancient settlements will be lost if the plans are implemented. Not exclusively will the greater part of the apparent relics be lost, so too will every one of the ongoing unearthings, alongside who knows the number of unseen fortunes, local people that were frustrated to such an extent that they requested of the Turkish specialists to apply for UNESCO World Legacy status for his sank of nonconformists, even took the public authority to the European Court of Basic Liberties. The two endeavors to save the town, be that as it may, demonstrated ineffective. And these plans don't just hurt the archaeological community. Thousands of handcuffed residents will be forced to leave their ancestral homes without receiving any compensation. The town and its surroundings would be submerged by water levels nearly 200 feet higher if the illustrious Dam were fully operational. Nevertheless, despite international condemnation, the Turkish government has continued the planned deluge. In 2009, the project even ran out of international funding. Residents of the United States have summed due to concerns about the impact on the environment and inadequate relocation provisions. 3 major banks also withdrew support in the same year, citing the same factors. Consequently, Turkish authorities made the decision to finance the illustrious Dam independently. In fact, in 2009, Minister of Environment and Forestry Veysel Araglu referred to it as an honor project. The final stages of the dam's construction have been completed since then, including filling the 121 square mile reservoir and preventing flooding. However, both locals and archaeologists are not the only ones concerned about the flooding in the area. According to Boyega, who is an environmental engineer and a vocal supporter of the initiative to his Sanka for Life. Scientists are also deeply concerned about the dam's impact on the environment, as reported by The Guardian in 2017. The riverbanks will be completely destroyed by the dam. The dam will alter the microclimate, drastically reduce the variety of plant and animal life, and the southeast Anatolian region of Turkey will not be the only one to suffer from its effects. Iraq, a neighbor, will also bear some of that impact on the environment. In fact, the dam will dry up the Mesopotamian marshes in the south of the country, which could mean losing a lot of their land. The people of Iraq will suffer, as well as the wildlife there. Yes, in the summer of 2019, following a request from the authorities in Iraq, the Turkish government postponed filling the reservoir. The country in the Middle East already had low water levels, and any further reduction might have been dangerous. His sank were spared as a result of the postponement of the planned reservoir filling to prevent drought. The Turkish authorities agreed to preserve some of the ancient relics of the town, possibly in response to criticisms of the planned flooding of his Sanka. They built a new his Sanka, which was supposed to be an open-air museum for the area's treasures. Some of the settlement's treasures were moved to the new town, despite concerns that moving any of the ruins could cause damage that could not be repaired. However, that relocation was only partially successful. Only a few relics were moved to the new town, including Angel Bane's ilium from the 15th century. However, not everyone had the same luck with other archaeological treasures. Some were destroyed for whatever reason, while others were covered in concrete to prepare for the subsequent flood. In fact, he blasted a lot of the hand-carved rocks in his sank and surrounding cliffs into the river below. If not for us, the people of the region will not gain anything. The academic community agrees that we will lose cultural heritage on a global scale, not just local heritage. Indeed, the dam's lifespan reaches 100 years. Some people think it's a poor reward for the damage that can't be fixed. When the very short useful life of the dam is compared to the long history of his Sanka and its potential to live for eternity, one without a doubt must choose the survival of his Sanka. Let's hope the Turkish government eventually agrees, as Istanbul Technical University's archaeological professors Ain Up the Honeybee told the Smithsonian. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.